Let's talk about the 3 main mistakes that people make when bringing a new dog into their home so that you don't make those same mistakes as well. And my first tip is going to be around not showering your new dog with attention too soon. And I know that might sound counterintuitive or confusing, especially for a dog like this that has had such an atrocious start to life, but for us to build a relationship that I want, where he looks up to me as his loving leader, I want to get him to a point where he feels comfortable with me. I'm not going to achieve that by trying to cuddle him, stroke him, baby talk him, or even give him too many treats too soon. I'm going to build up that relationship by being a calm, consistent and assertive leader. And when you bring your new dog in, don't make that mistake of showering with attention. Follow the other 2 tips I'm going to give you in this video alongside everything else we talk about here on this channel, and you will be setting yourself up for massive amounts of success. Which then takes us to our second point, and that is realistic expectations. You have to have realistic expectations of what can be achieved when you bring a new dog home, especially an older rescue dog that you might not have a huge history of. Now, knowing just how dramatic this dog is and how it has absolutely 0 training, and noticing some of the warning signs that I saw in the kennel, just him being in my vicinity comfortably right now whilst I'm down at his level is massive progress. Now, for some of you with your new dogs, your realistic expectation might be to start working on some formal obedience on day 1, might be to really get crate training nailed on day 1, getting that lovely loose lead heel walking started from the beginning. But every dog is different, every situation is different, and that's why you need to do your research and educate yourself to a point where you're able to understand what the realistic expectations are and then slowly work towards them, setting the dog up for success rather than having too high expectations and setting the dog up to fail. So then guys, the third mistake that people make with their dogs is around not managing the dog's environment and giving them too much access to their environment far too soon. This process should take weeks into months, and if it takes years, then it takes years. But at the center of your dog's environment should be its crate, and that dog should be getting used to being in its crate from day 1, and it should be spending any time that you are not working the dog or observing the dog in its crate and giving it tons of structured time in the crate. Now, that might sound harsh, and again, going back to the mistake around showering too much attention too soon, that is incredibly important to allow the dog to have any kind of success. What is very difficult to do is go from giving them too much space and trying to come down than starting by controlling their environment 100% of the time and slowly giving them more and more space and time. The longer you have the dog and the more the dog starts to become comfortable and the more progress that you are able to make with the dog. That process should be an ongoing, slow process of gaining success and then giving them a little bit more freedom. Are you still achieving success at that point? Then you can consider giving them a little bit more freedom. But it's easy to take one small step back, then bring a new dog into your home, feel sorry for it, start showering it with too much attention, giving it free roam and free access to the home, realize it's a disaster, which is where most dogs then come back into shelters. And if you're not going to bring it back into a shelter, to then have to start to bring that down. It would have been so much easier, and you and the dog would have had so much more success if you'd have just started at that point in the first place. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm now going to go back to spend some dedicated time with this case because it's definitely one of the more interesting ones I've dealt with recently, and I do have significant concerns that we're going to have to address if we're going to give this dog any chance of avoiding euthanasia. So thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you did enjoy it, subscribe if you are new here. We do multiple videos like this every single week to make sure you have the perfect canine companion of your dreams.